So neuroscience is kind of curious in that regard, in that all of those people who are really actively out there working, scientists, and then these people who piggyback on the scientists or the philosophers and establish these crazy partnerships, which I really don't think produce much, but they nonetheless ponder what it is about the brain. And they ponder, and as we know, they still had an awful lot of trouble figuring out how it is that the brain can be spoken about in any sensible way in relation to that other stuff. Now, I just call it stuff. I call it mind stuff, because I'm not going to call it all the silly words that people in our ordinary language use, and then psychologists use, and then they try to hook these words up with measurable events inside the brain. But for now, let's just talk about mind stuff. So the problem is how to talk about the brain in relation to mind stuff. Now, one of the really mystifying things about this is that the brain is becoming presumably better and better known in many ways. You know, all these thousands of pieces of research that I can't keep up with. But it doesn't seem possible for them to make really great, meaningful and impressive statements about what it all means, how it all adds up. So you have this problem that everyone talks about, and I'm not going to talk about it right now, the so-called hard problem, which is articulated by a famous philosopher, David Chalmers. Again, I'm not a big fan of philosophers, only one in my mind, and I'll talk about him later. But, you know, it's a hard problem. How do you dig around in the matter, material, flesh, and whatever else there is in the brain and understand how consciousness emerges? He says that's the hard problem. Okay, that's pretty hard. I think it's a bad problem. Other people think it shouldn't be the one that's asked, but it is very, very hard. But there's another problem that hasn't even been touched, and that's the one that started to occur to me during the course of this project. Wouldn't it seem to make sense that if we do try to find out about those brains of ours inside ourselves, if we ever found some logic and some meaning and some poetry and some coherence in our ability to speak about those brains of ours that are sitting someplace in there, shouldn't that lead to our understanding how our science works? How those minds of ours, which really produce all that science, really manage to generate that science. So in other words, someplace, very much if we get in there and figure out a way to speak about the brain in a new way, and believe me, folks, I just reject everything that's been said. I take all the facts, I try to take all the data, but I don't believe the very stories we've been told. But if we do manage to come up with an interesting story, let's say, about the brain, and some people consider it just a good bedtime fairy tale, and others may go along with me down the road and think it's a treasure map. But the idea is, let's say we do understand the brain in some way, never totally. Wouldn't that beginning understanding then help us understand how it is that we, these creatures, we got this thing going on called science? And how that thing called science, that activity, that buzzing, it's like a beehive, it's a lot of noise, it's all the back and forth, it's all the publishing. How in the world, I mean, bees do find out where their honey is by buzzing. How is it that we, all these science people, doing all these science things, talking all this science talk, do manage to figure out stuff or something that helps them do good things in the world? Find the honey, find the money, do whatever they want to do, but it's somehow useful. So the Castalia thing, the Castalia thread is this: if we can find out about the brain and how it works, and it's just my brain or your brain, it's sitting in all of us. If we can find that